Yo, 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 welcome to my stream. Forgot to put on my funky hair. Hold up, give me one moment. It's not that funky, it's just a beanie. Yeah, anyway, welcome. Oh, am I lagging? Hold up. Give me just one moment. Looks like my camera's died. Or is it not? Maybe my Streamlabs is just failing. No, yeah, it looks like just Streamlabs is just not showing me my video, but that is all good as long as you can hear me. Give me just a moment. I'm just going to check. Give me one tick. Sorry about this. Yeah, no, sorry about that. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely can hear me, so that is cool. Anyway, firstly, I just wanted to say welcome to everybody to my channel, Beyond the Bridge. Probably most of you watching this here have come up from MC Toon or Planar Walk or Huge Ass or any of those particular people who were so kind to present my channel to all of you guys yesterday. So anyway, firstly, my channel name. So my channel was initially called Beyond the Bridge to Total Freedom, and my initial intent with this channel was to make satire videos about Scientology. In Scientology, they have what they call the Bridge to Total Freedom, which is essentially after you've paid them hundreds of thousands of dollars and you've gone up all the different OT levels and you learn about Lord Zeno and all of the amazing, beautiful, crazy, whack stuff that they teach, then you get to gain different superpowers and the likes. And my thought was to make a satire channel from the lens of someone who has completed the Scientology bridge and then gone above and beyond that and gained some insane superpowers, such as being able to talk to dogs but only chihuahuas, or being able to bend plastic spoons with their mind. However, I ended up deciding that I really couldn't be bothered doing that. There's already a lot of channels out there with the goal of exposing Scientology for the human trafficking cult that it is, so I decided to leave that to the experts. Also, I wanted to do a slightly more serious channel about topics that I'm interested in, such as mysticism, strange out there phenomena, cryptids, UFOs, etc. And I wanted essentially a platform where I can discuss those topics and other topics that are of interest to me. Where I come from on the page that there is not about convincing anyone of anything, as I myself obviously don't know the truth behind any of those particular things, but I just wanted to have a platform to look into, essentially. Of course, I strongly suspect that for the most part, most of those stories and whatnot are just fantastic stories. However, I do also believe that behind most of those stories is some level of truth. And I know that the answers that I am and other people are looking for is found by having discussions about those topics rather than just ignoring them. I think it's clear, well, it's clear to me and to people who have had strange experiences that there is more out there than meets the eye. And so it is my goal to be able to discuss those things in a forum like this here, and yeah, and then be able to question things that don't fit our paradigms by questioning them. So what I won't be doing with this channel is making wild claims or saying that any particular thing is true. I won't be saying things like, I believe that the earth is flat. Firstly, I don't believe that the earth is flat. and in my view, and I think in any reasonable, logical person's view, we've got pretty good proof that it's not flat. I also won't be doing things like talking about how I am confident that the US government has connections to Zeta Reticuli, and they have some kind of secret government program where we send them humans and they send us technology, or that kind of stuff, because we have no evidence for that. So for Flat Earth, we have evidence. We have strong evidence that it's not, and then for people saying things like that there, we have no evidence for that whatsoever. However, there is, in my view, a truth somewhere in the middle, such as, like with the Earth, it's not a globe, it's a oblique spheroid, because there's a slight bulge in the middle, so, I mean, that one is not quite a earth-shattering thing to discover, but then, on the other hand, you've got with the people claiming about aliens and Zeta Reticuli and whatnot. Well, I don't think that the government has some plan or some agreement with them to be ferrying or sending off humans in exchange for technology. I do think that it is likely that there is something out there that we don't know and don't understand. Just the sheer volume of people who have who witnessed different things, or the number of whistleblowers that are starting to come forward in the United States and also around the world. So yeah, I also plan on commenting on some of the debunking things that I've heard that I don't necessarily agree with. A lot of debunkers like to make their arguments against these kinds of phenomena and weird and wacky things. They make it into political or race issues or whatnot, such as people claiming that the reason why, it's usually the debunkers claiming that the reason people believe that the pyramids were not built by humans however many years ago is because the humans in Africa at that time were too stupid or whatnot, which I think if you chat to most people who have some kind of ideas or views in that topic, they don't sit there and think that people back then or from that area of the world are any less capable as anyone from the modern world, regardless of where they are from. Rather, they see an incredible structure and they think that there must have been additional technologies or something missing from the record that we are not aware of. From my point of view, if someone told me that some of the massive skyscrapers that we have in our modern world were just built by humans using really basic tools, I would question them and say, well, I think that there's probably some other kind of tools or technology that you're not aware of, because they probably didn't do it just with chisels or whatnot. Then again, there is also enough evidence for things like the construction of the pyramids where they could have just used chisels and whatnot. Would have been a Herculean effort, but I don't see why they couldn't have done it with enough time and enough people. So yeah, but I am more than open to discussing those kinds of ideas. So yeah, back to the name of my channel. So I heard someone say recently that they believe that the last few decades and the upcoming few decades are a bridge between a previous human paradigm, previous way of thinking, and then a future way of thinking, future human paradigm. And although I would like for the world to just sort out its issues and we can all live happily ever after, I don't think that's just going to happen just like that, because we've got a whole raft of issues facing us. Obviously, we've got things like rising sea levels with the current situation in Russia and Ukraine. We've got risk of nuclear war, and then just the world in general is pretty polarized with their views, and we are in a position, in my view, to destroy ourselves. But I do think that with an open dialogue between people and talking about topics that we would rather push under the rug, that there is a hope and a chance that we can find our way beyond the bridge years and live in a world where we don't have to worry about it ending every single day. So yeah, as far as the types of videos that I would like to do in streaming, I plan on doing different reactions slash commentary kind of videos on different articles, stories, other YouTube videos, books, that kind of thing, just on the topics that I find interesting. Secondly, I would like to interview just everyday normal people who have had their own strange experiences, whether or not it's like out of body astral projection kind of things, or lucid dreaming, or seeing weird things. I'd like to have interviews with just everyday people who have their own experiences, because even though to someone who has not had out their experiences, it might sound ridiculous, to those who have had their own personal experiences, it is very real, and I think that giving people a place where they can talk about that without fear of being ridiculed or laughed at, I think is a benefit to everyone, because for anyone that has had any kind of wacky out there experience that isn't accepted by mainstream people, that their lives could be greatly improved by being able to talk about what they have experienced. Another project that I would like to do is, there is a channeler called Bashar who, since the 80s, has been making predictions and he doesn't call them predictions. He says there's no such thing as a prediction of the future, just a high potential based on the way things are going. But anyway, this Bashar person, channeler, whatever, has been talking about UFO disclosure since the 1980s, and I haven't listened to too much of his stuff, but I've listened to enough to see that there is some level of correlation between approximate dates and whatnot, and then stuff that has eventually happened, such as the Phoenix Lights, the Leslie Kean article in 2017, and all of the stuff that's happening currently. I also love the topic of self-empowerment and the authentic self mindset, and I plan on discussing that topic in relation to the previous kind of topics that I have mentioned earlier in this stream. I'm also open to ideas and suggestions from my viewers, and I'm happy to do content around what they would like to see, assuming, of course, it's something that fits within the kind of channel that I want to have, and then also is of enough interest to me that I'm wanting to look into it. As far as what I want to get out of my channel, first and foremost, I would like to inspire people that I talk to, or that listen to or watch my videos or streams, to be themselves and to not be ashamed of what or who they are and what life experiences they have had. And I believe that anyone who can be authentically themselves can live a fulfilled life by being themselves and doing what they love and being who they are. Obviously, our current system in the world is not really set up for people being themselves, but I do believe that we are slowly shifting towards that, with people just being more open to be who they are, and the more people that do that, then the world starts to change, because you don't need everybody to change. You just need a critical mass, and then it becomes unacceptable to not be open to people. So yeah, I would like to provide a platform for that in my own kind of way. I eventually would love to be able to do YouTubing full time. I think for a lot of people of my generation growing up with YouTube, the idea of being able to make content, be able to talk about things that interest us is a dream for a lot of people. And so that is one of my goals. Eventually, when that happens, I'd also like to be able to do a lot more focusing on my art. I do have another channel called Beyond the Bridge Art, where I will be posting videos and shorts showing my art, showing my creative process and the likes. And also with that, I would like to be able to do a bit more of my own music and other forms of my own self-expression. So yeah, that there is pretty much what the channel is about. Yeah, any questions or whatnot? Give me one moment. Either that, or I can bring up something and do a react to that. Give me one tick. I did see something the other day that I wanted to have a look at. You know what? I'm actually going to leave that for now. I'll leave that for another stream. Yeah, in any case, with that, I think I will end the stream for the moment. Once again, I do want to thank MC Toon and Planar Walk and Huge Ass for providing me new viewers yesterday, and I look forward to being part of the wider YouTube community. And